What's up, Heat Nation? Ernest here, back with another Miami Heat Talk video. Before we get started, you guys, I would really appreciate if you can like and subscribe to the video. Thank you guys so much because we just hit 2,600 subscribers on the road to 3,000 subscribers. So thank you guys so much again for the support. Wish I had happier news, you guys, but unfortunately the Miami Heat dropped to the Oklahoma City Thunder 120-128. That Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Chet Holmgren firepower, that team is tough, man. You had some great games last night by Miami Heat players, but the first half, man, it seemed like the Heat were getting this done. Then that third quarter hit. Second half was trash. You know, it just wasn't really the best game from the Heat. I really wanted them to win this game, you guys, and in the first half, the Heat were rocking and rolling great. That second half, though, man, I mean, OKC is one of the youngest teams in the NBA, but they're second in the West. So they just got tremendous firepower, tremendous speed. And man, SGA, I don't see him a lot, man, but that dude is a beast. Give credit where credit's due. You get 25 points from Bam Adebayo, 21 from Jaime Jaquez. Two players that I was very impressed with last night. Haywood Highsmith. Comes back from that concussion. You know, Haywood Highsmith has been dealing with a lot of crap this year, but he gives you 19 points. He hits a bunch of three-pointers. A pest on the defensive end. I've said this before, you guys, and I'll say it again. Haywood Highsmith reminds me a lot of Shane Battier, but it looks like his offense is even better. And I'm not talking the Shane Battier that was with Memphis. I'm talking about the Shane Battier that was with the Heat. You know, the guy that was like the best role player next to LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. He did all the little things so they didn't have to do it. He guarded the best player. He hit three-point shots. He was the perfect 3-and-D player. Haywood Highsmith is that way as well. And then you got Nikola Jovic, man. Nikola Jovic is constantly proving that he should be the starting power forward. I know he's a defensive liability, but I've said this before. Right now, your starting power forward choices, moving on, is either Caleb Martin or Haywood Highsmith. They're both 6'5". Very undersized power forwards. Nikola Jovic is a 6'10", 6'11" point forward. And you're seeing him out there with Bam Adebayo, guys. It's working. It was his 5th or 6th straight start. And yesterday he gives you 15 points. He gets a steal. He gets a block. He rebounds. He assists. He's doing all the necessary things that a starting power forward should do. Now, look, he does get crap fouls. He tries to draw charges. He's not that good at it. Defensively, he is very limited. And the last thing that we need is another guy out there that's limited on defense. You know, Tyler Hero's not the best defensive player in the NBA, even though I do admit that Tyler Hero has been evolving on the defensive end. But still, this team is predicated on our defense. You know, you have Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, who are defensive-minded players. Kyle Lowry usually starts so he can hold his own. It's really, but to have Kyle Lowry out there with Tyler Hero and Nikola Jovic, it's just tough defensively. And I've said this before, you guys, once this team becomes fully healthy, someone's going to have to eat crap. Spo usually likes to go with a 9-man rotation, 8-man in the playoffs. So what's going to happen to Haywood Highsmith? What's going to happen to Caleb Martin? What's going to happen to Duncan Robinson? What's going to happen to Kevin Love, Josh Richardson? These are all guys that are prime, poised, and ready to give significant minutes. And I'm loving what Haywood Highsmith has been doing lately. Let's not forget when he was the starting power forward, we won 7 straight games. So I'm really interested in seeing how Spo is going to manage these personalities when everybody comes back. Because last night you have no Jimmy, you have no Caleb, you have no Kyle. It's the same issue we've been dealing with all season. Not one game have we been fully healthy. Not one. So I'm really interested in seeing what Erik Spoelstra is going to be doing. Now, we lose this one. We go down to 21-16. It's like I've said before. One day you're going to be the 4th seed. The next day you're going to be the 8th seed. It's really fluctuated between seeds 4 through 8. It is literally a half a game down between those 5 teams for the 4th seed. So we're going to see this all year long, you guys. This battle for the 4th seed is going to be insane. Great for us as fans. I mean, if you don't want to be a negative person, look at it from the positive perspective. Every game is like a playoff game. Every game is a must-win game. So all of the games that we're watching at home, you guys, sit down, enjoy your popcorn, and love it. Live in the moment. Don't worry about what seed we're going to be today and what seed we're going to be tomorrow. Watch every Miami Heat season game like it's a playoff game because the seedings is putting it to that point. Now, I think we got 5 very winnable games. You got Orlando tomorrow. You got the Hornets on the 14th. You got Brooklyn the day after on the 15th. You got Toronto on the 17th, and then you got Atlanta on the 19th. I think that he can go 5-0. We did work to the Orlando Magic, and the Orlando Magic game is going to be a big game because the Orlando Magic game is one of those teams fighting from the 4th to the 8th position. You guys got to remember, the playoffs are different now. You don't want to get the 7th or 8th seed. We were there last year. You played that play-in game. That's why this is so entertaining because the bottom 4 teams in the playoff bracket that are fighting for the 4th position, two of those spots are also a play-in spot. So you don't want seeds 7 through 8. So that's why this is going to be so entertaining. So if the Heat can take care of Orlando, Charlotte, Brooklyn, Toronto, Atlanta, I don't see why we should be losing any one of those games. Now, the update with Jimmy Butler's foot is good news. They thought that it was a serious injury when it happened. He's gotten tests. He's gotten treatment. It looks like it's not that serious. Thank the Lord. We need Jimmy Butler. I know that a lot of people are frustrated with Jimmy because they feel like he's coasting. You know, a lot of the guys, Martell and Trent, when I was on the channel with them, with the podcast we were doing, they kind of felt the same way, that Jimmy Butler is just coasting. I understand how people are seeing it that way. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I will live and die with Jimmy Butler because I know what Jimmy can do. Jimmy is our playoff performer. He's 34 years old. We know what we're getting from Jimmy Butler. We know that Jimmy Butler from April to June is our guy. You have to remember, guys, look at all documentaries, look at all the interviews. Think of the teams that have made NBA finals and long playoff stretches multiple straight years. Think about the Chicago Bulls in the 90s. Think about the Detroit Pistons in the late 80s, early 90s. Think about the Los Angeles Lakers from the 80s and the 2000s, the Miami Heat team, the Big Three era, even the Golden State Warriors dynasty. Think about all those teams. Hell, throw Boston in there in the Big Three era. Think about all those teams. When those teams played from October to May or June for 3 to 4 consecutive straight years, it takes a toll on the body. It breaks you down. You're hurting. You don't heal as fast as people that do whose seasons end in April because they are taking April to September and working while the teams like the Miami Heat now are busting their ass in the playoffs. It's a process. When Jimmy Butler is playing his ass off through June and we go through the season, this is going to happen. But that's why I love guys like Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez, and Duncan Robinson. They're going to hold down the fort. Caleb Martin was supposed to be one of those guys. Caleb Martin was a guy that we were looking at as either the 3rd or 4th best player coming into the season. Remember what Caleb Martin did in the Eastern Finals, you guys. Unfortunately, we're not seeing that same Caleb Martin because of injury. Think about this, you guys. Caleb Martin has missed over 10 games. Tyler Hero has missed over 10 games. Jimmy Butler's missed double-digit games. Bam Adebayo's missed double-digit games. Our top 4 players that we've put on paper have missed more than double-digit games. And we're still fighting for the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference. That should appease Miami Heat fans. That should tell you, stay confident with this roster. Because I know that fully healthy, we're going to be the best moving forward. Now, we've talked about trades. We've talked about ideas. We don't know what's going to happen with the Heat. But one thing that I do know, love this current roster that you're with. Now, one thing that I do want to talk about, you guys, is the point guard position. Kyle Lowry's out. We don't know how long Kyle Lowry's going to be out for. It's a hand injury. It's not a shooting hand. Could be a few weeks. Who knows? But this is normal with Kyle Lowry. This happens every year with Kyle Lowry. It's always another injury with Kyle Lowry. So this is something that I wanted to talk about. It was reported recently that Goran Dragic is retiring, but before he decided to retire, he wanted to come back to the Miami Heat. He's said in multiple reports that he wanted to come back here. He only wanted to come back to Miami. The negotiation between Miami and Goran was for a minimum contract. Now, here's what happened. Drew Smith got injured. When Drew Smith got injured and it was said that he was going to be out for the year, his contract became fully guaranteed. That's the way the NBA works. It's not like the NFL where you can just cut people whenever you want. NBA contracts protect the players. So when Drew Smith got injured, the Heat can't cut him. His contract becomes guaranteed for the rest of the year. So that means he becomes one of those active spots. That spot was supposed to be for Goran Dragic or another veteran. But unfortunately, with Drew Smith's injury, we were not able to bring Goran Dragic in. Now, the Miami Heat do have one extra spot available. We have 14 guaranteed contracts. You're allowed to have 15 in the NBA. But the Miami Heat are so close to that luxury line that if you add another player, instead of paying that player the minimum contract, you're paying also about over $500,000 in penalties as well. So here's my question to you guys. Now that Goran Dragic is retired, now that Kyle Lowry is going to be injured, and the fact that the Heat don't have a true point guard, should the Miami Heat look at bringing in John Wall? Now, I know John Wall is kind of past his prime, but he has been linked to the Miami Heat before. I've seen workout videos with John Wall. He still looks in incredible shape. He still looks like he can give a team a good amount of time, maybe like 10 to 20 minutes. Would you guys entertain bringing John Wall on possibly a few 10-day contracts to see how it works? Now, I know he's not the player he used to be, but if you bring John Wall to this team, let him come off the bench for 15 to 20 minutes a game. He still has a little bit of the speed. He's a former All-Star. So I think plugging in John Wall with this roster, especially with a coach like Eric Spoelstra, especially with a player like Bam Adebayo, it may work. It's a little idea, I'm thinking. There's no rumors. There's nothing out there. However, the Heat have been linked to John Wall recently in the past. The Miami Heat, it's been reported the Miami Heat have had their eye on John Wall, seeing that situation, seeing how that happens. Now, don't expect a John Wall signing soon. If this happens, it probably won't happen until February or March. The Heat need to see what they got to do in the trade deadline, and then you have the buyout market after that. But if the Miami Heat are entertaining the idea of bringing John Wall, would you guys be open to see it? Now, I don't think the Heat should do that. I wanted to ask you guys to see what you thought in the comments, simply because if no other team has signed John Wall, in my opinion, that's for a reason. Who knows? But now with this current roster, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I love us moving forward, but we do have an issue at the point guard position. Nikola Jovic is answering that power forward hole that we've had, I feel. I feel that Nikola Jovic has earned at least an opportunity to take the starting power forward position. We know that spot's going to be for three guys: Caleb Martin, Haywood Highsmith, or Nikola Jovic. In my opinion, the person that's actually going to get playing time is going to be between those three. Whoever doesn't get the starting power forward position between those three players, look for those two to eat crap. It may be Caleb Martin. Caleb Martin's injuries may have cost him this rotation spot, because look what Jaime Jaquez Jr. is doing. Jaime Jaquez Jr. is taking Caleb Martin's role. I want to know what you think, you guys. Let me know in the comments. Do you feel that Haywood Highsmith or Caleb Martin is the answer as the starting power forward? Or do you feel that Nikola Jovic has taken that spot? What do you guys think about our next 5 games? Do you think they're winnable? I think we can go 5-0. Let me know what you think. Also, do you think John Wall can help the Miami Heat fill that point guard hole with Kyle Lowry out? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Please, guys, take a moment to like and subscribe to the video. Thank you so much to all of my subscribers and supporters. Alex, it was awesome seeing you in Whole Foods. I ran into one of my subscribers when I took my family to Whole Foods a few days ago. His name was Alex. Took a picture with him. Alex, thank you so much, brother. You said some amazing words to me from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it. And now that I'm getting a little exposure and people are kind of knowing who I am, guys, if you ever see me in public, if you ever see me at the mall, I live in South Florida. I'm here in the Broward area. If you guys ever see me in the streets, or you see me at the mall or in the store, feel free. Come up to me. Say what's up. Let's take a picture. Let's talk Miami Heat. I don't care, man. I love you guys. My subscribers, you guys are the best. You guys are the reason why I'm able to do what I do. So if you guys see me, definitely come up. We'll chat for a minute. Thank y'all so much for the love and support. Until next time, your boy Ernest out. That's enough said. Let's go, Heat.